Welcome back to the Success Publishing Videocast. My name is Jessica Soto, and I am here today with Eric Stiles, and I'm interviewing him about his latest book, Unwavering Success. So welcome, Eric. We're really excited to interview you today. You're one of our best-selling authors, and I'm just really excited to dive into your story and hear more about you. So can you give us kind of like the cliff notes on who Eric Stiles is, what your background is?
Sure. Thanks for having me, Jessica. My background is I started out in the military when I was a kid, and before that, I was on a farm in Western Pennsylvania. And in the chapter I wrote, there's some of the mishaps we had and what I learned from that. And then in the military, I learned a lot more about team building and how to have a good attitude about when things happen. And it goes on when I served as a merchant marine officer for another 20 years, in most of it in Brazil and South America. And that involved learning new culture, new language, and leading teams with people with different experiences. So I thought I could put all this, or some of it at least, not all of it, but I could put all this in a form where all the things I learned, people don't really need to relearn.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
why I went ahead and put that together.
Yeah. I find your chapter content so important to just people in general and the workforce nowadays. I love your insights on it. Before we dive into all of that, can you show off your new book that you have?
Sure, if it shows up on the camera. Yeah, there it is. Yay.
Awesome. Yeah. With your very own face on it. That is
Yeah,
so
with my
cool.
ugly face on there. It repels rodents.
So how did it feel getting your very own book with your face on it?
That was pretty exciting. And then when it went to #1 on Amazon, I was very surprised. And it turned around and I started getting more calls about my business and a lot of accolades and a lot of people wanting to sign copies and people I hadn't heard of in 20, 30, 40 years. So
That's
that was pretty
amazing.
neat. Yeah.
Oh, I love hearing that. That is what we love doing here. We love interviewing you guys and hearing, shining the light on your story and hearing what it is that you've accomplished even more now that you become an author and stepped into that authority. So let's dive into your chapter a little bit. What is like a little bit more about what it's about and what you hope readers are going to get out of it?
But it starts out when I was very young, and as we met adversity in my family, I started learning from my family. They always kept a positive attitude, and they realized that things could always be worse, and that was kind of our mantra. And I
Mhm.
started looking at that. Okay, it can be worse, but how do we solve these things? And as the disasters hit, everybody has misfortune in their lives. We always kept a good attitude, and I noticed that community teamwork, voluntary teamwork was where it was at. And I took the bull by the horns right away because I just saw that people needed an activity coordinator in just about everything we did.
Mm.
And then I took that into the military with me, where I did really well there. I always, I'm not want to brag about it at all, but I did really, really well. I got promoted fast. And they let me go to college at night at some point. They put me teaching. That was really nice because they liked my attitude and they liked how I did things and coordinating the activities. Um, and then after that, in the merchant marine, I was all over the world and mostly in South America and Brazil, and built a good reputation there. And people still call me, will you come down and take care of this project? Yes. But I have a book now. I'm not really interested in that. Maybe I'll go visit you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved hearing, and it's cool to hear that you really have been all around the world because I like how you said it can always be worse, but how can I make it better? Like what's the actionable steps to do? And it's cool that you have that so well-rounded worldly view on it and getting to pick from different cultures and seeing that everybody thinks differently and works differently and how we can actually all have that common theme of voluntary teamwork, like you said, and how to do that. That's really cool. So what made you choose to become an author now? You've done all these things, you're in the military, you've run your own business, you've been all over the world. What brought you to taking this opportunity to become an author now?
Oh, the biggest thing there, and it might not be obvious and clear to a lot of people, but it sure is to me. I go on LinkedIn, Facebook, all these social medias because that's what you have to do for business now.
Hmm.
And I see people posting stuff that is for guys in my generation just common knowledge from having been in Boy Scouts and in the military. And they post things about leadership, and it's like, oh, that's an amazing. I'm like, what? You didn't learn that when you were 10? So I just so I decided to just go ahead and compile just a few of my experiences, and then at the end go ahead and list what I learned. And it's just the basics
Hmm.
tenets of leadership. And if you pick up any leadership book, it pretty much says the same thing over and over and over for the last 1,000 years practically. So I
Hmm.
just decided, it's fresh, and people just don't obviously know it. They don't get it growing up anymore. And I figured I'd help them out on that. Save time. Why reinvent the wheel? Why rediscover fire?
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes it just takes that one different perspective to read. You can read the same thing 10 times, and then the 11th time it's somebody in a different way saying the same thing. And that's what hits.
Yeah, I put
Like
it
that.
based on my experiences, and that way, it's not opinion, or it's not dogma at all. It's just experience based. Who's going to argue with it? Go ahead and argue with it. It's my experience.
Yeah, exactly. And then you said that you have people actually reaching out to you and asking for autograph copies and all of that. So how has stepping into this best-selling author and getting all of those people coming to you, how does that change how you feel about yourself and how you're doing business and how you're going forward?
Oh, it makes me really busy, and it allows me to help people even more, and it connects me with people I haven't seen in a long time or heard from in a long time. And so as far as that goes, it just feels like a more full life. I'm not just going out there doing business for business's sake. It's just
Hmm.
people are coming to me. And when people started asking me to come speak at different places, I was kind of surprised at that, and really enjoy that a lot.
That's awesome. How many speaking engagements have you had, or like what's been going on since you became
I've had
published?
three. I've had one for an ROTC group, pretty big one. And then there's junior ROTCs, high school guys. And
Hmm.
then I had two captains meetings at different companies out in Louisiana where they had 20, 30 captains in the room. And, just trying to keep those guys on point and, not get complacent in their leadership duties.
Yeah.
Been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this is the perfect time for this subject matter and for you to be doing your thing. Um, so what's next for you then? Is it continuing doing that, or what's next for you?
Well, in my business, I have a news service for individuals. We've been taking care of B2B a lot, saving companies on their expenses.
Mhm.
And it's very nice to do that for a company. But when we save individuals money, like on their debts, is what we're focusing on. We're
Mhm.
taking 30-year mortgages and 30 years of debt and bringing it down to 7, and putting an app on their phone. And that when a guy borrows 100 grand to buy a house, he ends up paying 250 for it, the way the math is set up. And we get around that is really fulfilling. I mean, we've had people like burst into tears on Zoom calls when
Yeah.
we show them exactly what we can do for them. And because when people are in that debt, I was there, everybody's been there. When you start out, you have to borrow money, you have no choice. And it's a horrible thing. As your kids grow, you're thinking, how can I save them for college? And we
Mhm.
have a method to repair that. So that's kind of my crusade right now. And I have a couple guys helping me out on that. So it's really nice.
That's awesome. How has like the author journey played into that?
Oh, it's played in well because what people want to look you up, and the first thing they go and Google your name, and it comes up. There's your best-selling
Yeah.
author guy. Wow, no kidding. Yeah, I didn't really try that hard. I don't like to go around strutting around like a peacock. That's
Uh-huh.
not my style. But it is true. It is there, and it lends to massive credibility, as Mr. Morris would say.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm so
Yeah,
glad to
it's
hear
pretty
that.
cool.
And then, so what was, I mean, I know you've talked about people reaching out to you and that's kind of surprise and wanting your autograph and how it's built your credibility. But what was the biggest surprise out of this whole journey for you? Getting published, doing the work and getting there and then getting the book.
Well, the biggest surprise first off is how easy it was and how fast the book went straight to number one. and how long it
Mhm.
stayed there and how many
Mhm.
copies were selling. That doesn't make sense, but apparently it does. And then just simply posting it on the different social medias, it generates more and more and more. And then getting a lot more reviews than I thought I'd get.
That's awesome.
It's more than 5% people are actually taking the time to review it. So that's really nice too. And
Oh,
that
great.
surprised me. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure they're getting lots out of your chapter. I really enjoyed reading it, and it was cool
Good.
getting to know you and hearing your story and just getting that good stuff out of it. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I was really excited to interview you, and I'm glad that we can get your name out there and your story out there a little bit more. And I can't wait to see what happens next.
Oh, me neither. I have some more plans, after we take care of a whole bunch of people with the personal debt reduction. And of course, we're always taking care of businesses too, but there has to be another book in the works because
Yeah.
everybody's demanding it. So here we go.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome. I can't wait to see it.
Okay. Thanks for having me, sweetheart. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.